Board games, board games, it's what we're talking about, kind of. Game books, it's what we're talking about. Game books, I'm not gonna shout. I am starting off this streaming with a little bit of singing. And today we're going to take a look at the further pages of this book. And I will say hello to you all. Hello to the person who's watching live. It is Paul, and everyone who may be watching. Hello to you too. I hope that you're doing well. How do you do? Regardless, game books, it's what we're talking about. Fighting fantasy, the Warlock of Firetop Mountain. I'm not gonna shout. Hello and good morning to everyone. And I am Bez. We are blethering nominally about board games, but are we really? I mean, this isn't a board game. This isn't a board game. Yeah, maybe we're not even talking about board games today, but it is still nominally the board game blether. And if you want to take a bath, you can take a bath. I'm not going to stop you. Today we are reading The Warlock of Firetop Mountain, and it is part 2. So far we've gone through this much of the book. We just read the introduction and rolled up our character. That was what happened last time. Let me get the wee thing. So I will go over that again very quickly, but in the meantime, I want to say hello, Paul. It is lovely to have you drop by. That is totally fair. 6,000 words sounds like quite a bit. I mean, having said that, I know you do pretty long videos, so I guess that, I mean, are you saying, oh, it's only 6,000? Is that meant to be like a humble brag? Is that what we're getting at? Because I'm just thinking like Mark Rosewater's top articles are like 10,000. But yeah, I heard of Scott's, and like, yeah, I saw that you started with number 4, I want to say. But I hope that you've been enjoying them. How have you been carrying on? So far, this is where we've got our notes. I feel like, I mean, just using an envelope, I feel like I should have probably transcribed it onto nicer bits of paper. But, oh, wow. Matthew Dunstan's been streaming today. I totally did not realize that Matthew Dunstan was going to be starting off streaming on Wednesday so early. So hello, Matthew, and thank you for joining us. And hello, Rob. Hello, Jay. Hello, Matthew. It is lovely to see you. I thought it was going to be like another couple of weeks until you started your morning streaming on Wednesdays. And hello, it is Rory Muldoon. Lovely to see you all. And thank you for joining me for this reading. Now, back in the first episode, let me get my correct banner up. What happened last time? What happened last time? If you didn't watch the last episode, then that is not a crime. So don't worry, because it's totally not a crime. So last time, we read through the introduction, and we decided that we needed to give our character a name. Our character is Lady Bezebell I, who comes from Brombury and is the Boastful Baroness. That has nothing to do with the book, but it's just what we decided during this stream. We also rolled our skill, which I think it has to be between 7 and 12, and we ended up with 9, which seems okay. We got luck, which again between 7 and 12, I believe. We got 11, pretty good, nice. Stamina, I think that has to be between 14 and 24. We ended up with 16. That's not very good. So our Lady Brombury does not have much stamina. We did decide to go with 2 luck potions, which is there. And we've got our little rations, which I've drawn. And remember, we need to get the gold for the ferryman. And we need to have 2 keys for the treasure at the end of this book. That's what we've learned. Also, we learned that our shield somehow went missing between the first paragraph and venturing into the cave. No one has any idea how that happened, but we like to pretend that we decided to trade our shield in for those 2 luck potions. And that is the story so far. Oh, and hello to Xate. It is lovely to see you. Totally understandable, Rory, and if you need to lurk or whatever, that is totally fine. But I will see you when you're back. And yes. Oh, no. We totally got 2 luck potions. Yeah. I mean, I think it's 2 potions no matter what you take. Remember. I promise you that, I was reading it out loud and people would have told me if I was cheating. So, these potion, taking a measure of potion. Each bottle of potion contains enough for 2 measures. So it's technically 1 bottle, but it's 2 measures of potion. There we go. So thank you, all you lurkers. I do very much appreciate it. And you do have to type the exclamation mark at the end of your command. Otherwise, the bot does not like it. But before we get on with our quest, exactly, J. Foolsguard. Before we get on with our quest, I wanted to go through for just 5-10 minutes. We don't need to dwell on it. Just ask everyone, what have been your recent highlights, living life and seeing the sights, recent highlights, playing games and other delights, recent highlights. So I have some New Year's resolutions. My New Year's resolutions, I've managed to keep up with them so far. The no sugar, except for bread. I had some no sugar peanut butter, which was super exciting to find out. I've decided to abstain from honey. I might have a spoon of honey on the weekend because there is some, really, just like, there's some really fancy honey. And so I, just like 1 spoon, like on the weekend. I still won't have any processed sugar. Anyway, that's been going well. I've been walking and I have been doing good oral hygiene. I went to the dentist. It was an unpleasant thing. I am going to tell you something unappealing, so I will hold this hand up. Whilst I'm holding these hands up, I will tell you something unappealing and slightly embarrassing. I have gingivitis. It is true. They took a lot of stuff off my teeth, and apparently my manual toothbrushes, I've just not been brushing well enough on the insides. I've been brushing well enough on the outsides, but apparently not the insides. And because of that, I need to start using an electric toothbrush. Anyway, I made sure to have a proper brush last night and brush this morning, even though I've still not had breakfast. I'm going to try to move to intermittent fasting. That's just the way I'm going to go. I'm going to make it a habit, like eat my breakfast after the show. But anyway, that is my recent highlights. And I hope that other people have not been told such unappealing news. I hope that other people are healthy. And if you're someone who has been trying to get out every other day, like, have you managed to get out? And Unlurk, you haven't started a book yet. Yeah, but have you managed to get out for your walk? Have you managed to eat anything nice? Have you managed to play any good games recently? I didn't play any. So I didn't play any board games, but yesterday was the end of the Steam sale, and I did buy a few games. I bought a puzzle game that I had a wee go of, and I've bought this Life is Strange. I'm quite excited to try it. I might do it on stream if at least someone says, yeah, I'd be interested in watching that. Maybe I'll do it on stream. But yeah, that is what I've been up to, and just playing a bunch of phone games and listening to podcasts and pondering things all the time. I'm pondering. What's about other people? Recommend Corsadil. I will have to look that up. I am literally typing in Corsadil. Yes, I am using mouthwash. Thank you for the tip. Xate says she really didn't want to go out yesterday, but had promised someone that I would and take her pick in the snow as proof. Good job, Xate. I went, and when I got back, a Christmas card I'd been waiting for a month was there. I would have missed it had I not gone out. Wow. Wait, so if you... Oh, so you went to the post office. Okay, I see. Nice. And hello, Alex. It is all good and lovely to see you. And so, yeah, congratulations on getting that exercise done. And I'm still doing my morning walks. So now I want to talk about, quickly, brilliant thing. What's the little thing which is brilliant? And I am going to sing a very short song. And then if you guess what thing I'm talking about, then you will get some sorts of points. This is a very short song. Glowing through the leaves, helping me when I read, allowing the TV to function correctly. All the visual information aiding me in my perception. Every shimmer on the water, every glimmer, day or night, that enters through my eyes. I think it's this wonderful thing about which I sing, all the waves and the way they reflect. It's a wonderful thing as I look all around, and if I missed it, if I lost it, miss it a lot. So let me know if that song was at all made any sense. Let me know what you think I'm talking about. That is totally fair. Lovely to see you, Paul. I hope you have a great morning of work and all the best. Lots of love. And if anyone can guess what I was talking about, mornings are indeed brilliant. That is not what I was talking about. And so if no one guesses, then I am just going to carry on regardless. And I will sing a bit more about it tomorrow, I guess. So, as we carry on with the book, feel free to comment, ask questions, thumb, like, follow, all those good things. Bez and Friends Game Day will return on Saturday. Go to my Discord. And so let's get on with reading The Warlock of Firetop Mountain. This is the paragraph we finished up on. At last, your 2-day hike is over. You unsheath your sword, lay it on the ground, and sigh with relief. As you lower yourself down onto the mossy rocks to sit for a moment's rest, you stretch, rub your eyes, and finally look up at Firetop Mountain. Good branding in there. The very mountain itself looks menacing. The steep face in front of you looks to have been savaged by the claws of some gargantuan beast. Sharp rocky crags jut out at unnatural angles. At the top of this mountain, you can see the eerie red colouring, probably some strange vegetation, which has given the mountain its name. Perhaps no one will ever know exactly what grows up there, as climbing the peak must surely be impossible. Your quest lies ahead of you. Across the clearing is a dark cave entrance. You pick up your sword, get to your feet, and consider what dangers may lie ahead of you. But with determination, you thrust the sword home into its scabbard and approach the cave. You peer into the gloom to see dark, slimy walls with pools of water on the stone floor in front of you. The air is cold and dank. You light your lantern and step warily into the blackness. Cobwebs brush your teeth, and you hear the scurrying of tiny feet. Rats, most likely. You set off into the cave. After a few yards, you arrive at a junction. Will you turn west, turn to 71, or east, turn to 278? Now, that was the question that I posed to everyone last time. And last time, so I'm going to actually stand up for this. Last time we decided we would venture west. And so, going west. So, that is 71. Go west. Ah, and we've got a little picture. I do really like the fact that below the pictures, they make it clear this is the section which this picture refers to. So you look at it and you think, oh, is that from section 70 or 71 or even 74? But no, it is, in fact, relating to 71. I find that incredibly helpful. There's lovely line work, weird elements, like all these little spots. It's almost like little boils and little crags. I mean, it's very, how should I put this? It is fairly stylized. I'm really digging this. Okay, and Alex, I'm going to wait a couple of minutes to see if anyone else copies your answer. But, whoops, So, there is a right-hand turn to the north in the passage. What? Oh, okay, so you are going west and then it turns north. Cautiously, you approach a sentry post on the corner, and as you look in, you can see a strange goblin-like creature in leather armor asleep at his post. You try to tiptoe past him. Test your luck. Now I'm going to have to double check how I test my luck. And additions, using luck, test your luck. If a creature inserts in pay. Oh, here we go. However, in that, okay, for roll 2 dice, if it's equal or less, then okay. Let's see what I get. I will roll it in. I will use a box so you can see the dice. And the luck was 8. That doesn't... You'll have to believe me. It was definitely 8. And so, of course, that is a success. Thank you very much. And each time you test your luck, does it go down? Each time you test your luck, you must subtract 1. Okay, so let me make a wee note. Our luck is now 10. If you're lucky, he does not wake up and remains snoring loudly. Turn to 301. If we would have been unlucky, then we would have stepped with a crunch on some loose ground and his eyes flicker open, but turn to 248. Maybe I don't need to read what happens if we're unlucky. And hello, Michael. Yes, we are just, and I'm just going to take a quick break now that everyone has had a chance, and I do give Alex Aqua Sulis 1,000 points for guessing correctly that it was indeed light. Now, yeah, I'm really digging this picture of the goblin. These are wonderful pictures. I mean, they're both evocative, and I mean, the lighting, I'm not going to say is naturalistic. The lighting is, you know, very much using black to draw the eye into the center. And you've got a wonderful, yeah, leading the eye right into the center of the frame. I think that is perfect. So, 301. To your left, on the west face of the passage, there is a rough-cut wooden door. You listen at the door and can hear a rasping sound, which may be some sort of creature snoring. Do you want to open the door? If so, turn to page 82. Or if you wish to press on northwards, turn to 208. And so, yes, should we open the door Or should we press on northwards? Feel free to vote. I will cast a vote myself if I feel the need to, but I will let you decide in the comments. Scott says that Russ Nicholson is the artist, who I think was mentioned somewhere. Illustrations, copyright Russ Nicholson, 1982. Indeed. And here we've got just a generic pile of treasure. And it's, yeah, just not even applying to anything. It's just, oh, what is this treasure? Is this applying to one of these sections? I have no idea, but it's just giving us a tantalizing glimpse of what lies ahead. I think that's nice. These kind of random, atmospheric bits on the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to go with Scott. Scott says you always have to open every door. And yeah, sadly, Sadie did miss the song, but oh well, indeed. Things happen. Okay, if you wish to open the door, turn to page 82, and the door opens to reveal a small, smelly room. In the center of the room is a rickety wooden table on which stands a lit candle. Underneath the table is a small wooden box. Asleep on a straw mattress in the far corner of the room is a short, stocky creature with an ugly, warty face, the same sort of creature that you found asleep at the sentry post. He must be the guard for the night watch. I mean, it says the same sort of creature, but wasn't it mentioned before? I'm going to check page 71. A strange goblin. Okay, it was goblin-like. Okay. You must be the guard for the night watch. You may either return to the corridor and press on northwards, turn to 208, or creep into the room and try to take the box without waking the creature. If you want to steal the box, test your luck. If you're lucky, he does not wake up. Turn to 147. If you're unlucky, turn to 33. Okay, well, I think I know what everyone's going to go for, so I'm going to just test the luck, and we're already on 10 luck, so there's only, what is that? 1 in 32, 3, 1 in 12 chance of losing this. So come on. 9. Boom. It was 9. Let me show you. Yep, 9. You can see it. Anyway, 9. So we have been lucky, but our luck is now decreasing, and our luck is already on 9. So maybe what time do we want to take that first potion? I'm thinking maybe when we get to 7, which is going to be when we're going to be more unlucky than lucky. But let me know what you think. When is it appropriate to take the luck potion? This is indeed an interesting decision. We have managed to steal the box. I mean, I feel like, what kind of adventure are we? Like, what has this warlock even done? Why are we going in and stealing this treasure? It's not as if the warlock has, I mean, in the introduction, as far as I could tell, the warlock hasn't been doing anything. The warlock hasn't been terrorizing any villages. We're just going in and trying to, yeah, it's just a mysterious warlock sanctuary. The warlock just wants to be away from everyone. In a way, like, you could cast this as we are actually really horrible people. What was it? 141? 147. I think you leave the room and open the box in the passage. Inside, you find a single piece of gold. Boom. So I'm going to add that gold to my inventory. We need apparently gold for the ferry, so we're already there. And a small mouse, which must have been the creature's pet. You keep the coin and release the mouse, which scurries off down the passageway. Gain 2 luck points and turn to 208. So you go back up to 11. And Scott says, that's the problem with this adventure. You are not the hero in this one, but a thief and burglar breaking into the poor warlock's home. Yeah, I agree. I mean, we are Lady Bezebell, the Boastful Baroness, and we've just lost our fortune in Braggadocio, and then we're just going to reclaim it. Seriously, this is actually pretty twisted. Anyway, I just want to comment. I really like that. Right after you've tested your luck twice, you regain your 2 luck. And that's straight away telling you, hey, you are going to regain your luck sometimes. And it's, yeah, just maybe the person starting to think about, oh, when do I use my luck potion? And then boom, right in there, it gives you those points back. I really like that timing. I'm just appreciating that. Is that not, like, it feels like it's, yeah. So, section 208. Further up the passage, along the west wall, you see another door. You listen at it, but hear nothing. If you want to try opening the door, turn to 397. If you want to continue northwards, turn to 363. Well, feel free to vote. I think I know what Scott's going to say. So opening the door, continuing northwards. Let me know what you think. And people have suggested that I draw up some sort of map, so let me go. Goblin, and second is gold. Okay. Yeah, open the door, says Michael. I think I remember what's behind that wall. It's definitely not trapped, says Michael. I mean, you know I've got to casting votes. You know that I've got 1 vote as well. And Scott hasn't voted yet. But if Scott wants us to walk into the trap, then Scott can vote for us to open the door. It's up to you. So I'll wait for a minute. And do we turn to 397 or do we turn to 363? Let's go for it, says Scott. Let's charge in there. The foolhardy adventurers that we are. 397. And straight away, you're greeted with section 400. Your quest is over. Turn over to discover. And Alex from YouTube says, walk into the trap. But ignoring the large text to the side of the page. Oof. The door opens to reveal a small room with a stone floor and dirty walls. There is a stale smell in the air. In the center of the room is a makeshift wooden table. What's a makeshift wooden table? I mean, yeah, that kind of... Are they saying that they're using a stool as a table? I mean, do they have a piece of wood, like a tree trunk? I mean, the word makeshift, it suggests to me that they're turning something else into the table. Yeah, a lump of wood on a rock, it could be that. But, I mean, it could be a stump. It could be a tree stump. Just, anyway. I mean, this adjective raises more questions than it answers. Anyway, it is apparently a makeshift wooden table on which is standing a lit candle under the table, so it's not just a lump of wood on a rock. And it's not a rock with some planks on, because apparently under the table is a small box. So it is some, like, is it maybe 3 bits of rock with a plank on it? Maybe that's what it is. Come on, tell me. I feel like you're not giving me enough information here. Book, come on. Anyway, under the table is a small box. In the far corner of the room is a straw mattress. You may either open the box, turn to 240, or leave the room. 363. An overturned crate. That could totally be it. And so, yeah, maybe the crate's got a hole in it, so you see the box inside. It's a crate inside a bigger crate. Maybe that's what's going on. But anyway, what do you think? I'm feeling like people want to see what's in the box. People want to see what's in the box, right? It wasn't the room that Scott was thinking of. And imagine how big the book would be if they gave you all that detail, says Alex. Yeah, I know, but just like makeshift. Is it just like, maybe that's the thing. Maybe they're just teasing you and tantalizing you with information, and this is, but I wonder if I would have even understood what the word makeshift meant, because it's not really giving you any fuel for your visual imagination, is it? Anyway, I think this might be the room that Scott was thinking of, because we go to 240, and I'm going to... The box is light, but something rattles within. You open the lid, and a small snake darts out to bite at your wrist. You must fight the snake. Snake, skill 5, stamina 2. Okay, so here's where I am. I need to put a little bookmark in and remember how the fighting works. Skill 5, stamina 2. So I need to hit it one time, I believe. Fighting battles. I'm not going to test my luck to escape. First, record the creature's skill and stamina score. Blah. Roll 2 dice once for the creature. And that is, oh my gosh, that's 11. 11 plus 5 is 16. Then roll 2 dice for yourself. Oh, 9. 9 plus 9 is 18. Boom. Yep. Add the number rolled. If your attack strength is higher than that of the creature you've wounded it, and step 4, you've wounded it, subtract 2 points from its stamina score. And there we go. We have killed the snake, thankfully. Boom. In your face, snake. We slide out of the way with a quick swipe of our axe. And if you kill the snake, turn to page 145. The box has fallen to the ground during your fight with the snake, and out of it has fallen a bronze-colored key. Ooh. With the number 99 carved into it. Key with 99. And I'm going to draw a little picture of a key so I can remember that that's his key number 99. You may take this key with you. Note it on your equipment list. So you may. So, like, of course, if we wanted, we could just say, I mean, is anyone going to not take the key with them? For goodness sake. I mean, you've just been told that we need 2 keys for the final thing. For goodness sake, of course we're going to take the key. And leave the room. Add 1 luck point and turn to 363. I'm going to double check, but I believe that I cannot add 1 luck point, which makes me feel bad. That feels like sad game design. That I'm just... Where does it say that you can't go higher than your thing? Drinking the potion of fortune will restore your initial luck to its initial level and increase your initial luck by 1 point. That's nice. Yep. As with skill and stamina, your luck score may never exceed its initial value. Sad times. Man, Steve Jackson and Ian Livingston, way to make me feel bad, but it also makes me assume that there was an alternative way to get here. which seems weird because I guess if I hadn't been so lucky with the previous test, then I wouldn't have gotten the 2 points. I would have gotten 1 point here. But I don't know, it just feels like a feel-bad moment. I mean, if it were me, I would have added 1 luck at that point and 1 luck at this point. And then it would have been a more feeling of reward. I mean, that's just me. Anyway, turn to page 363. Further up the passage, on the west wall, you see another similar door. You listen at the door and grimace to hear the worst singing you have ever heard in your life. Do you want to go into the room to investigate this hideous din? Turn to 370, or walk on up the passageway. Turn to 42. And hello, Nikki. It is lovely to see you, and Happy New Year to you too. We are just reading through, and we have come across hideous singing. Do we enter? Do we investigate? Or do we walk on? Do we walk on by? Let me know what you think in the comments. I think that's instantly, I would prefer to, this is what everyone wants to do, isn't it? Like, surely, especially the first time you're there, you want to investigate every single thing. I mean, it's the only answer. So let's go with it. 370. Scott's basically, surely it's too difficult not to investigate. Surely we want to know what's going on. Oof, and we've got another gorgeous picture. A strong element of black shadows, very stylized, expertly used to lead the eye into the center of the frame. I'm noticing that whereas, in reality, there would, of course, be darkness up the top, again, it's used in a very stylistic way. Shadows not used to represent normal light and shadow, but more accurately to lead the eye in. And that's just such a wonderful drawing, again, by Russ Nicholson. So genuinely great stuff, and little details like the scratching on the table. Also, I will note that why is there one scratch from the fingernail there and nothing else? So, seated around the table are 2 small creatures with warty skin dressed in leather armor. That is the little bit underneath the picture, which brings to mind almost Victoriana, where it has a little extract from the main text, and in it tells you clearly, this is exactly what I really appreciate these pictures. Anyway, the door opens to reveal a small room. The room is dirty and unkempt. A straw mattress lies in one corner. In the center of the room is a wooden table upon which candle burns, lighting the room with its flickering flame. A small box rests under the table. Wow. Like, what's going on with these caverns? Like, just people are leaving their boxes all around. I mean, seated around the table are 2 small creatures with warty skin, dressed in leather armor. They are drinking some sort of grog, and by the way they stagger to their feet on your arrival, you assume they are very drunk. You may either draw your sword and leap forward at them, turn to 116, or slam the door quickly and run on up the passage, turn to 42. This is one of the illustrations I was waiting for, says Scott. This is indeed a classic illustration, and they do love mentioning warts. Yeah, it's like, come on, way to give someone who might have a wart some sort of insecurity about it. They really do. They also need to install some sturdy wall safes, says Scott. Why does the Warlock not provide them to his tenants? Yeah, I mean, what's going on? What is this tenancy system? Are they living there in return for services rendered? Let me pop in unless someone's able to take that. So, yeah, what do you think? Should we try to draw our swords and try to steal whatever box they have? Or should we just run away? I think I know what people are thinking. I think... And writing 116 is where we went. Stab him up. Get the stuff, says. Okay, 116. I will listen. Oof. The two drunken orcs. Orcs in bold capitals. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. The two drunken orcs you now face are obviously startled at your entrance, and as quickly as they are able, they fumble around for the weapons. You must attack each one in turn. Their drunkenness allows you to add 1 point to your dice roll when rolling to work out your attack strength during each attack round. It's really interesting game design choice. Like, so rather than, and apparently Nikki was non-violent, but yeah, I'd already turned to the page, so there you go. Sorry about that, Nikki, but get in a wee bit faster next time. But yeah, it's a really interesting design choice, because rather than just saying, oh, their drunkenness means they lose 1 point from their natural skill, which would have been functionally exactly the same, they say, oh, their drunkenness allows you to add 1 point to your dice roll, which is, I guess, is something that you remember. It kind of, but it just unnecessary maths. It just feels a wee bit weird. How anyway? Let's do it that way. So I roll for the monsters. I rolled an 11. Damn you, monsters! 11 plus 5 is 16, and I rolled a 4 for myself. So yeah. 16. Let's see how much. I can't remember. What happens if I get hit? If the creature has wounded you, subtract 2 points. Again, you may lose luck at this stage. I'm using luck. You may test your luck to restore 1 strength of stamina. Do we want to test our luck? What do you think? We are on full luck, and it feels worth testing our luck. I'm going to make an executive decision. I'm going to test the luck. We rolled 9, and of course, we get a bit of stamina back. So we are now on 15 stamina. So now we are not only burglars, but committing aggravated burglary. Exactly. We're just going into this cave, and just because these creatures have woken up and tried to defend themselves, we are coming and attacking them. You'll notice that they just stumbled to their feet. They weren't drawing any weapons until we did. This is really, we are really horrible people, yes. This is horrible anyway. I don't feel good about this at all anyway, but okay, 8 plus 5 is 13, and then 6 plus 9 plus 1 is 16. So we take 2 stamina off the first person. And so now that's down to 2. Let's keep on rolling. So second roll, 7 plus 5 is 12, and 7 plus more, we kill it. Oh, and this poor orc. We have just slaughtered an orc who was doing nothing wrong. Its greatest crime was getting a bit drunk. That was all. And that's totally fair. Lovely to see you, Nikki. But this poor orc, its greatest crime was just getting a bit drunk and singing badly. I mean, yes, it's like we are unthirsty louts. Bloodthirsty lot, all of us. I mean, yeah, this is Anyway, so now straight away, with no time to ponder, no time to grieve for the dead, we just roll, and 6 plus 5 is 11, and then 10 plus more, and so that's down to 3 stamina. The second orc, because the second orc apparently has a bit more stamina, and 4 plus 5 is 9, and 10, yep, another hit, and down to 1. And I think it's really interesting how, again, we could use the luck in battles to try and maximize the wound. So, actually, if you have wounded a creature, you may test your luck. If you're lucky, you've inflicted a severe wound and may subtract an extra 2 points from the creature's stamina score. However, if you're unlucky, you must restore 1 point. I think this is really interesting because, in theory, there is no downside except for the lost luck, of course, to test your luck when it is an odd number. But given that these poor defenseless orcs, 8 plus 5 is 13, 6 plus 9 plus 1 is more than that, and the second orc falls down. I mean, the book doesn't say anything about how they die, but I imagine a sad gurgle as the orc gazes at you, thinking, why? Why did you just come in here? Why are you doing this to us? Why are you taking our treasure? These poor orcs, exactly, these purks. If you win the battle, turn to 378. You wipe your bloodied sword on the mattress. The green blood leaves a slimy stain on the straw. Stepping over the bodies towards the table, you flinch at this foul stench of the creatures. You pick up the box from under the table and examine it. It is a small wooden box with crude hinges. The name Farigo de Maggio is inscribed on a brass nameplate. If you wish to open the box, turn to 296. If you decide to leave it behind and leave the room, turn to 42. Now, I think I remember what's going to happen. It's been a few years since I played this, but I think we all want to open the box, don't we? But the only thing that makes us recoil, according to this book, is the stench of the creatures. We don't care about the fact that we have just killed 2. We don't recoil at our deeds. We don't recoil at this travesty, at the death that we have just witnessed. We are just the bloodthirsty, boastful Baroness. I think I'm adding that title. The boastful, bloodthirsty Yep. Anyway. Should we open the box, 296, or leave the room? 42. I'll wait for one person to decide whilst I have a drink. Unfortunately not a potion of luck. Okay. Let's turn... It is called Fighting Fantasy, says Michael. It's not like the series is called Moralistic Fantasy. Yeah, maybe there should be a moralistic fantasy. It reminds me of the Ed Review, where Ed Review's Doom, and it said, this is a great game, but wouldn't it be interesting if we could do a little bit more with this? What if you could talk to some of these creatures instead? And to be fair, I mean, there have been games since then, like Red Dead Redemption, where you can talk to the creatures, and that is good. I would be 100% down for that. I would be much more excited. Let's just open the box. The box contains a small leather-bound book entitled The Making and Casting of Dragonfire. You open the pages and begin to read. Fortunately, It is written in your own language, and so was probably not understood by the orcs. Otherwise, this treasure would certainly not be as loosely guarded as it was. This book is written in tiny handwriting by Farigo de Maggio. In it, he tells the story of his life's work, the creation of the Dragonfire spell, with which to fight evil dragons. Again, it's very black and white. That's what we're getting into. Like, I mean, are all dragons evil, or is this Dragonfire that only kills evil dragon? Is it like one of those witch things where it's like, oh, well, because you died from being plunged into water and God didn't save you, well, then that shows that you must be evil? Is it one of these things where we're just assuming that people are evil? Oh, poor dragon, seriously. Anyway, you read how, in his last years, Farigo finally perfected his spell, but by then was too old to make use of it. So he completed his book, locked it in a chest, and hid it in the depths of Firetop Mountain, afraid that it might fall into the wrong hands. The last page reads, and it's got some lovely typography, presumably also done by Russ. And so, you who now hold this book, you have my life's work in your hands. The power of destruction is yours if you wish it, but do not waste it. Unless you use the spell for the purpose for which it was intended. You shall be consumed by evil itself and die by the fire from your own hands. Remember, only when the dragon breathes its fires at you should you raise your arms and say, Ikil, Erif, Ikam, Erif, 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 Demagio. And I noticed that obviously we can read them backwards, and it says, fire, 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 make fire like fire, make fire, fire, fire. Okay. I guess I should make notes of that. Ikil, Erif. And is DiMaggio the signature, or is DiMaggio part of what you have to say? That is really unclear. I do like the little, it's like an illuminated manuscript. The extra adornments around the A, quite pretty. But why was DiMaggio so fixated on making the book look pretty? I mean, I guess, to be fair, the book, obviously, with the illustrations, are focusing more on setting a scene of wonder, where wizards have time to create pretty pages rather than just telling you the information. And yeah, I agree, it does look like it fell into the wrong hands. Erif, Erif, Erif. Yeah, us evil people just going in and killing all these sad goblins. You say these words slowly and softly. Suddenly, the pages seem to glow, and as this glow disappears, so do the words on the pages of this book. You repeat the spell to yourself to memorize it and leave the room. Turn to 42. We'll make a note. So that was spell. You eventually arrive at the end of the passage. At a freeway junction. You may turn either to the west, turn to 257, or to the east, turn to 113. Now, this is another part where we have absolutely no idea what to do. So 257 or 113, west or east. I know last time we made this decision, some people were saying, well, the west is wild, so let's go there. Some people were saying, well, the west is peaceful, so let's go there. Are we sticking with that principle, or are we just going to keep going west? Let me know what you think. I have absolutely no opinion on this decision. I always felt like, for some reason, I'm just noticing, okay, so the swords are, I just noticed the swords on the pages, and I'm wondering, oh, why are those swords there? I'm thinking, oh, okay, those swords show whenever there's a battle. Is that it? Is that what's going on? Oh, no, it isn't. It's just, okay, so I see pages when they're, okay, so the swords are just there to somehow fill up space, I assume, to be interesting. Yeah, there's just random swords around. Sometimes when there's a battle, there's a sword. That seems to be the rule. Anyway, let's go with 257 and see what happens. Unless someone suddenly thinks differently. The passageway runs straight for several meters and then ends at a wooden door. You listen at the door and hear angry shouting coming from within. Will you investigate, turn to 168, or turn back? Turn to 293. I like this. So there is no further to go. We have so far always been opening every door. Are we going to continue this? Is this just what you want to see? Is this what you want me to do? Open every door, open every box. Is that what the people are voting for? I've been totally sidetracked, thinking of some new character classes. Moralistic mage, fair fighter, sermonistic sorcerer, principled priest. I like it. Yeah. And maybe you're going around and for moralistic fantasy, should it be moralistic fantasy, or should it feels like you might want to change the second's name as well if you were actually going to do it. Moralistic missions. Also, then maybe moralistic missions makes it sound like missionaries, and that might kind of it kind of feels like you're speaking badly of Jehovah's Witnesses and stuff. Anyway, yeah, moralistic missions. Let's put that on the pot. And so, sturdy door. 193. Sorry. 168 or 293. Okay. Let's us open it. 168. Ethical elf. Worthy wizard. Oof. Wow. We've got an illustration of a goblin beating up another goblin. And, you don't know what's going on here. Maybe this small one is being punished. Maybe there is something wrong happening here. Or maybe they're just into roleplay. Maybe they're into sadomasochism. That's, as long... It's like, don't go barging into situations where you're not wanted. I feel like this is a place where the moralistic mission is going to go awry. Again, a wonderful illustration from Russ Nicholson. And black leading the eye clearly into the center of the frame. Scared expressions. You open the door to a large room. A large chair behind a solid-looking table suggests to you that someone or something of rank uses this room. A chest in the center catches your eye. In a corner of the room stands a man-sized creature with a warty face, standing over a smaller creature of similar race. With the whip in his hand, the orc chieftain has been beating his servant who is whimpering beneath him. Will you attack them both? Turn to 372. Spring at the chieftain in the hope that his servants will aid you. Turn to 65. Or leave the room and head back for the junction. I mean, again, we are just horrible people. The thing that catches your eye is not someone being beaten, not worrying about what's going on here, but purely just, hey, let's get that treasure chest. It's the chest in the center that catches your eye. You totally ignore the whip that's got a mean fork on the end of it. We ignore, we ignore like the dagger and the strange sword. Anyway, Michael was apparently planning on creating a visual novel this year. Maybe I should just write a moralistic mission book. I mean, as long as it's a game book, yeah, sure, do that. And maybe I'll read it out if you send it to me. Man, we are such horrible people, and I do remember what happens here. So I will let Michael, do you remember what happens here? Should we attack them both, spring at the chieftain in the hope that his servants will aid you, or leave the room and head back for the junction? I mean, we need to get into character. I think what this book is telling us to do is to assume the role of a greedy, bloodthirsty tyrant who we previously named Lady Bezebell. I mean, more and more, I am thinking, no, I am so glad that we made this not to be me, because I don't want to be just drawing my sword just because it's a goblin. How do we know that these goblins aren't good people? I mean, maybe we want to try to communicate. Maybe we want to offer them some, maybe before we leave one of our little fruit cakes. You remember we had like fruits and veg cakes. I can't remember all the stuff that was in it. There was carrots and all sorts. Anyway, any thoughts? So 372 to attack them both. Springing at the chieftain in the hope that his servants will aid you. Again, it's not spring at the chieftain to try and put things right. It's spring at the chieftain because you hope that someone else will help you attack them. I mean, seriously, what is going on in your mind? What kind of entitled jerk are you? And congratulations, Sates, who got 70 on the Daily Tiny Islands map. Congratulations. Yeah, so, yeah, do we leave the room? Let me know. Leaving the room seems like the boring choice. I mean, do we want to start being a little bit more responsible and be like, you know what, these people, let's leave them to their customs. Let's not go into their chests. Or are we going to attack them both? Okay, I see where this is going. We're just going to be bloodthirsty. We're going to continue being bloodthirsty jerks and just attack them both. 372. The battle commences. Fight them one at a time. If you defeat them both, turn to... Okay, so Orc Chieftain, skill 7, stamina 6. So 7 plus 3, which is 10. And I am guaranteed to beat that. So I'm just going to go... That's down to 4. 6 plus 7 is 13, and 11 for myself, so they are down to 2. And, wait a minute. Sorry, I rolled it wrongly. Yes, stamina 6. So that was down to 2. And now 5 plus 7 is 12. And 8 plus 9 is 17. So we killed this chieftain. Just because we've decided to kill them, we are skilled with a sword. But really, when we look at ourselves at the end of this, what sort of people are we? Are we not the monsters? At the end, are we not really the exact people that the warlock just maybe wanted to stay away from? 8 plus 5, because the servant has a skill of 5, stamina of 3. So 5, 3. 8 plus 5 is 13, and we just need to roll a 4. We rolled a 5. Next, 10. 10 plus 5 is 15, and 6 plus 9 is 15. So again, another one bites the dust. And I'm going, before I turn to page 20, to section 21, I'm just going to assume that there is nothing to do with commiseration, nothing to do with sadness, nothing to do with reflecting on the power dynamic that might have been going on between these two people. Honestly, this was the point that I remember where I was thinking, oh, I want to help the big one and maybe the little one will become my friend. And I remember this one well when I was a child, and I was thinking, you know what, I've done something really bad. I've just, it makes sense. They were being punished, but they still have loyalty to their leader. I don't know what's going on in this power structure. This is not a good time. Anyway, the green blood of the dead orcs smells foul as it seeps from their bodies. You step around the corpses and investigate the chest. It is a sturdy affair, made of strong oak and iron, and it is firmly locked. You may try to smash the lock with your sword, 339. Turn to 339, or leave it alone and go through the open door. I would have personally go through the open door. That is a little bit confusing, and given the way the lines worked, I would have put like go back through the open door, but it does say leave it alone and go through the open door. Anyway, we all know what we're going to do. We're going to open up the thing. I'm just going to take this as granted that everyone wants to see me open every single box. The lock was obviously inadequate. It flies off and lands on the floor several meters away. You lift up the heavy lid, and your eyes widen as you see the gold sheen coming from within. A fair number of gold pieces are inside. In one corner lies a small black bottle with a tight glass stopper containing a liquid of some size, some kind. Also in this chest is a silky black glove. But as you are admiring this treasure, you hear a soft click and wince in pain as a small dart shoots forward into your stomach. Roll one die and subtract this number of points from your stamina. 3. So we're down to 12. To determine the effect of the poison on the dart tip, if you are still alive, turn to 201. You sink to the floor. You pull the dart out and decide to bandage the wound. This gives some relief, but you still feel weak. You decide to take it easy and examine the contents of the chest. But if you wish, you may eat some provisions here. There are 25 gold pieces, and the label on the bottle shows it to be a potion of invisibility, good for 1 dose. The glove is a mystery. May put any or all of these into your haversack and leave the room. Again with the haversack, I mean, for goodness sake, like, are we really having a little satchel as we're swinging our blade? I mean, come on. It feels to me like maybe if... Sorry, you can't see what I'm doing, but it feels to me like if we had like a... If it's just going that way, like, I just from experience as a cyclist, then it's kind of flapping, it's awkward, and it's going boom, 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 ouch. What you want is like something that's actually around you and tightly bound, whether it's a rucksack, whether it's just anyway. Maybe that's enough talk about the haversack. So clearly we are going to take 25 gold pieces, so that makes us up to 26. And why not take the potion of invisibility? And why not take the glove? And glove. Let me double check how the provisions work, because I see that Scott suggests eating something. Provisions. How do provisions work? Stamina and provisions. Eating a meal restores 4 stamina points. Okay, perfect. Yep, so yeah, use your provisions wisely. So I'm assuming that I don't get the stamina just restored randomly, so I am going to beef it back up to 16 and cross off one of the things. Oh wait, we'd already crossed off one at the start of the adventure. That was me, none of them. But yeah. So we've got 5, 6, 7, 8 provisions. So the book doesn't describe how much we enjoy the rich taste of what might be an interesting medley of dried carrots, apricot, cherries, and dough. It's not so enticing so that we overindulge, but it is tasty enough and such a relief after uncountable hours, for we have presumably lost track of time as we've gone through this dungeon. Okay, let's carry on. Turn to 293. You arrive back at the junction in the passage and walk straight on eastwards. Turn to 113. Ah, okay. Cool. So it was definitely worth coming this way, because now we've gone back to 113. You arrive at another junction in the passage. You may either go northwards, turn to 285, or continue eastwards, turn to 78. Yeah, I think we've already discussed last time that some of the people were saying that, yeah, this is really intended for reading through multiple times, drawing a map, and yeah, going through it all. But then on that second time when you go through, is it as enjoyable? And anyway, these for me were the kinds of choices with zero information. Maybe it's because I'm not someone who enjoys mapping, but this kind of choice. You may either go northwards or continue eastwards. No information about what's going on there or what's going on there. No opportunity to go a little bit further and then turn back. And that is, to me, what really led me to be, okay, well, I'm going to turn to 285 and also turn to 78. And I think this might actually be the first time that I've ever played it properly, as in, yes, I'm writing down the numbers on this bits of paper to have some sort of map, but I'm not turning back, if you know what I mean. Anyway, so 113 goes to either 285 or 78. So north or east? Any opinions at all? And again, this is like, if you've got any opinions, then just write them into the chat. Because again, how are you going to have an opinion? North. Oh, well, maybe it's colder in the north. East, or maybe, I don't know. What are we meant to think? Oh, it's all looks similar. We're completely lost. Are we just? Is it intended to be labyrinthine? Anyway, in the absence of any input, I am going to go with the first option again. 285. You see a well-used door on the right-hand east side of the passageway. With your ear to the keyhole, you listen and hear a man screaming for help from inside. Will you open the door? Turn to 213. Or walk on. Turn to 314. So, I think we already said we're going to open every door, so let's go to 213. The door is locked. You may try to charge it down by rolling 2 dice. If the number rolled is equal to or less than your skill score, the door bursts open. Turn to 36. If the number is greater than your skill score, the door remains locked. You lose 1 stamina point for your bruised shoulder and you must progress up the passage. Turn to 314. I mean, you may try to charge it down. So is there an implicit instruction here that if we don't choose to charge it down, then we just carry on anyway? I mean, it feels a bit vague to me. Again, I mean, to be fair, like, this is the nature of old-style RPGs. There was always vagaries, and people always had to read a little bit into these things and invent their own. And maybe, in a way, what Ian Livingstone originally said, that this was trying to get people to experience what it's like to be in a role-playing game. It feels like, I'm feeling like Ian Livingstone did actually succeed in many ways. Let's roll 2 dice and hope it's less than 9. Boom! I rolled a 2. You can't. And so I charge in there, and the door bursts open easily because of my amazing roll. What was it? 36. The locked door bursts open and a nauseating stench hits your nostrils. Inside the room, the floor is covered with bones, rotting vegetation, and slime. A wild-haired old man, clothed in rags, rushes at you screaming, his beard long and grey, and he is waving an old wooden chair leg. Is he simply insane as he appears? Or has this been some kind of trap? You may either shout at him to try and calm him down, turn to 263, or draw your sword and attack him, turn to 353. And again, finally, at least, we get a non-combative choice, and there is an illustration of the line, inside the room, the floor is covered with bones, rotting vegetation, and slime. This illustration depicts the man as being extremely skeletal, almost ghoulish. I will point out that if your legs were really that thin and your arms that thin, I think your face would be a little more gaunt. But, again, this is not reality. This is fighting fantasy. But, wow, this is an arresting image. This is the kind of stuff that just haunts your nightmares. So, any choices on whether to shout or draw the sword? And indeed, yep, we might be running into trouble, so it is indeed a good thing we ate the fruitcake. Not enough warts, says Michael. There are no warts on this person. True that. So, let's see what happens. 263 or shouts at the man or attack the man. What are we doing? This poor person who has been locked up. Are we attacking or shouting? It might be time to be moralistic. Let me just quickly plug my laptop in. Sorry about this. Okay, let's do it. 263. You shout, "You are freed, old man," at the top of your voice. Instantly, his rantings cease. He stops dead in his tracks and sinks to the floor, weeping loudly. As he gradually composes himself, he thanks you many times. You talk with him in the hope of discovering some of the secrets of the mountain, and he begins to tell his story. Oh, wow. Many years ago, he was an adventurer like you. In search of the Warlock's treasure, he was captured by the orcs and thrown into his solitary cell as a sort of pet for the creatures. You ask whether he would like to accompany you into the mountain, but he simply wants to leave and see the world again. You ask him for advice, but he says he knows little. He advises you to pay your respects to the boatman. He tells you that you must pull the right-hand lever on the wall ahead to open the iron gate at the end of the passage. He has also learned that the keys to the boathouse are guarded by a man and his dog. You shake hands, leave the room, and go your separate ways. Add 1 luck. Turn to 314. Boom. Luck is... Wait, is this... Add 1 luck? Oh, but I'm already at my maximum luck. Am I? Yeah. Huh. Well, okay, if I forgot to... Might have forgotten to go down 1, but anyway, I'm definitely at my maximum now. And let's make a note. Right hand lever and keys to the boathouse are guarded by a man and his dog. So I'm drawing a little dog. To boathouse. Okay, so there we go. So, man, this is what could happen to us. And to right, I mean, after slaughtering these poor creatures, I mean, I don't know what kind of life this old man led, but certainly we are the scum of humanity. We are all that is wrong with humanity. Scott says he tells you that he knows little, and yet he gives you 3 important pieces of information. Oh, I was looking to see what was the third. Pay your respects to the boatsman. Okay. Yeah, I guess that's the way that people are. You know, when they've been locked up for a while, they are going to be maybe a little bit more humble than normal. 314. Further up the passage, you see a door in the east wall. You listen hard, but can hear no sound. Do you want to open the door to investigate? If so, turn to 223. If you want to walk further up the passage, turn to 300. I mean, I want to walk further up the passage, but not just yet. I mean, these things are not exclusive, so let us, as we decided, open up every door. That is our motto. So 223. The door is firmly locked. You may try to force it to open. Turn to 53. Or you may continue along the corridor. Turn to 300. Well, we've decided that we're going to open every door, so turn to 53. You charge the door, hitting it squarely with your shoulder. Roll 2 dice. If the number rolled is equal to or less than your skill score, boom, the door opens. Turn to 155. If the number exceeds your skill score, the door shudders but does not budge, and you wince in pain as you hit the door, lose 1 stamina point, and continue up the corridor. Turn to 300. Well, thankfully, we have rolled well, and we get to go to 155. Again with the skill score, skill score, skill score. Why not just skill? I mean, it feels like redundant words, and if they'd removed that word, and to be fair, most of these lines would still have been the same number of lines, but I don't know, it just feels a bit clunky. The door splits along its length, and you can wrench the timbers apart to let yourself in. A torch hangs from one wall, lighting up a small armory room, stocked with swords, shields, helmets, daggers, breastplates, and the like. And you'll remember that back at the start we had a shield, but then it mysteriously went away. Anyway, you examine the weaponry and find nothing appearing superior to your own sword. However, a circular iron shield with a golden crescent at its center catches your eye. You pick it up and feel its weight on your arm. If you wish to take this shield, it will aid you in battles by helping to fend off wound damage inflicted by a creature on you. If in future, during a battle in which you are using this shield, a creature wounds you, you may throw 1 die. If you throw a 6, the creature inflicts only 1 point of damage instead of the normal 2. If for some reason the creature would normally only inflict 1 point of damage, then a successful roll of 6 would mean that no damage is done. However, the shield is heavy, and you will have to leave behind 1 item of equipment, adjust your equipment list to be able to carry it. This is such a weird thing. And also, what is 1 item of equipment? Is 1 gold an item of equipment? Is the glove an item of equipment? Because it's really weird. Let's not take the shield, says Xate. That's stealing. Leave it. I mean, we are already stealing. This is what we are in this book. We are thieves. What's that book that was actually... City of Thieves is number 5. But within this book, we are thieves. So let's... I guess I'm just embracing that identity at this point. I mean, I'm just going by the numbers. I'm just... again saying, like, look, I chose to pick up the glove, and now for some reason, if I put down the glove, magically I've got enough strength to carry this shield. But if I had not picked up the glove, then I would not be able to pick up the shield without getting rid of something else. It makes absolutely no sense. And yeah, it's kind of... yeah, let's exchange this shield for the glove. I mean, oh my god, we are weighted down by this weighty glove, and getting rid of this will be such a wondrous thing. I mean, you get where I'm coming from with this clunkiness and the fact that it doesn't really work thematically, but I get what they're trying to do. I get they're trying to inject, okay, it doesn't really work, but let's put something in here. But then ultimately it's just kind of making you look at things more mechanicalistically, It just feels weird. I mean, I'm assuming that I could leave behind 1 gold because I got a gold and then I got 25 gold. So clearly 1 gold is a separate item. So since I've got 26 gold, I think if we want to take the shield, I would suggest we put down 1 of our gold or we put down a glove. What do people think? Scott has voted for the glove. I'm voting to put down a gold. Other people can choose. I'm not going to deny ourselves the benefit. Sorry. And there is a beautiful image which reminds me almost of not a lino cut, like a woodcut, with lovely line work. Illustrating the line, a torch hangs from one wall, lighting up a small armory room, stocked with swords, shields, helmets, daggers, and the like. And here, the light, rather than the shadow being used to draw the eye in, the light is used to draw the eye in. It's really masterful, the way that what's her name? Nicholson, like Scott Nicholson, but Ross. Yeah, I really like the way that Ross Nicholson is playing with light and shadow in these illustrations. A gold is not an item, surely, asks Michael. And bye, lovely to see you. Oh, yeah, come on. A gold is an item. Okay, I'm going to put down a gold, and I'm going to say we've got the shield. D6, 6 equals -1 damage. As a wee reminder to myself. And so that gave us the shield. Cool. And now we carry on along the corridor, page 300, as we would have otherwise. On the east wall of the passage, you see another door, this time made of solid metal. Listening at the door, you hear the sound of tortured screams coming from within. If you wish to try opening the door, turn to 102. If you decide to ignore this room and continue up the corridor, turn to 303. Well, we've already decided, so 102. Let's investigate these tortured screams. Let's find out. And the door is not locked and opens. The room in front of you seems to be a small torture chamber with various torture devices around the walls. In the center of the room, 2 small hunchbacked creatures are having their fiendish ways with a dwarf who is tied to a hook in the ceiling by his wrists. Ouch. That kind of stuff really could actually pull your arms out of their sockets. I mean, if you're suspended, you can't just be suspended by your wrist. That is literally going to break your arms. You've got to be suspended by your main torso. Anyway. The 2 hunchbacks are poking and cutting him viciously with their swords. The dwarf lets out a final scream and falls silent, eyes closed. His captors make disappointed noises and look around angrily at you, as if it were your fault that the dwarf has collapsed. You must act quickly. Will you close the door quickly and continue up the corridor? Will you draw your sword and try to fight the creatures? Or will you stride over to the dwarf, give him a jab with your sword, and put on an evil laugh for the torturers? So, what do you think we should do? Should we run away? Should we try to fight the evil creatures? Or should we join in this torturing? This feels, wow, going from this is like the least moral thing that we could possibly be doing. And at this point, let's go another 10 minutes, and then after this encounter, I'll wrap it up. So what do people think? I honestly can't remember. Yeah, this did get really dark. I should have put on some sort of warning. I mean, wow, what age range was this intended for? It was for Puffin, which was... I mean, I can honestly see in the... why people would have said that this is not a great book for children. I'm actually quite... I'm going to let you people... So far, we've been as evil as the torturers, except for rescuing the old man. Don't join, says J. Fool's Guard. Okay. So, should we run? Or should we attack? We have time to just scarp her into confusion. Or are we thinking that these are terrible creatures and we should attack? We've got plenty of restorative fruitcake. I mean, apparently the journey's long though. I mean, we've only got 8 bits. You know, one thing that's I never quite worked out is like all this fruitcake. Why don't we go into the dungeon and then like come back? Why can't we say, oh, you know what? We've been going through, okay, it's been a day. You know what? Now at this point I'm having a snooze. I'm going to go back and I'm going to get some more fruitcake with me. And then anyway. But we've got a vote to not attack, and we've got a vote a vote to not join in, and we've got a vote to attack. So yeah. The 2 evil creatures are goblins. As if that should be a surprise. Goblins! They attack you 1 at a time. First goblin, skill 5, stamina 5. 5 plus 5 equals 10. I hit it. 5 plus 8 equals 13. Okay, I need to roll 4, which I did. I hit it. And 5 plus 7 equals 12. And I hit it again. So, first goblin is dead. In your face, goblin. Oh my gosh, this is so bloodthirsty. 7 plus 5 is 12. And I hit it. 8 plus 5 is 13. And I hit it. And 8 plus... And... Yep, 9 plus 9. And so we swing our sword. We furiously, as if in a vague attempt to feel better about ourselves, we kill the goblins. And then we turn to page 317. You cut down the dwarf. He is, as you guessed, dead. Going through the pockets of the 2 goblins, you find a large piece of sweet-smelling cheese. Well, that's a good sign. If you wish to take this with you, put it in your pack and leave the room northwards. Again, like, apparently, a few minutes ago, if we had this cheese, we would have had to put it down for the shield. But now, suddenly, we've got enough strength, we can pick up another piece of cheese. What's up with that? You get what I'm saying? You get my frustration. Anyway, these laws of physics make absolutely no sense to me. If you wish to take this with you, yes, of course I am taking the sweet cheese. Sweet smelling cheese. I mean, maybe if it's sweet smelling, It's probably cheese goes very well with fruitcake. Exactly. And Scott says they always seem to attack one at a time, just like the bad guys in a Hollywood movie. Yeah, it's like all the Hollywood physics where they shoot and then no one can get a bullet in you. Anyway, now, if you wish to take it with you, and I'll write cheese, and we go back to page 303, section 303. Put it in your pack and leave the room northwards. 303. You arrive at the end of the passage, where it meets another going east to west. But an iron portcullis blocks your way, and no amount of charging is going to budge it. On the wall to your right are two levers, and it seems likely that these levers have something to do with raising the portcullis. Do you wish to pull the right lever or the left lever? Well, I mean, we've got the information from the crazy old man, and we've got a lovely illustration. Although I'm not too fond of this illustration just because the way that it is behind, it looks like it's just a stone wall. Oh no, wait, okay, I get it. It is a stone wall, it's just running left to right. Then those lines up here, like that line and that line, that's just a wee bit. Something about that seems odd. But again, it's a pleasant enough illustration. This just seems to be very far from Russ's best work. I mean, don't get me wrong, Russ. Good illustration. It's not like I wouldn't be proud of it if I drew it, but not your best work, Russ. Just, yeah. Right, so clearly we're going to pick the right lever, but this seems to be pretty appropriate a place to stop. So let's stop there. We ventured so many rooms. So let us recap. Recap, wrap up as we finish up. So we walked through the dungeon, opening every single room we came through. In one room, we had to battle a small snake. Just with a swipe of our sword, it was gone. And then we found a key with 99 on it. I think that's going to be valuable. Maybe one of the 2 keys that we need for our ending. In some later rooms, we found such treasures as... there was also the potion of invisibility, the glove, and 25 gold that we picked up from a big treasure chest after massacring a chieftain and their servants. We have come in here to destroy and decimate all these people, and we are very focused on the human species. It's very much dwarves are good, humans are good, goblins and orcs evil. Which, to be fair, was the typical way. I mean, it's kind of a way of othering all these people, and it's a shorthand as used in, obviously, Lord of the Rings and any Dungeons and Dragons type thing. Actually, saying that a goblin might not be completely evil is at this point a subversion. But we carried on. We saved a human who gave us some information about the lever that we should open, and now we know. Let's open the right-hand lever to tell us about paying the boatman and finding some key with a man. Maybe we need to kill a man and a boat. And we are just the most bloodthirsty beings. I mean, what, for goodness sake, are we all about? We did eat a little bit more fruitcake, but we replaced it with sweet-smelling cheese. Now, I don't know if the sweet-smelling cheese is allowed to act as a provision yet, or if it's an actual item that we're going to maybe use at some point. Maybe someone wants some cheese. But I guess we will find out. I am going to probably, I'm not going to lie, I am probably going to go to page 1 and just explore the alternative thing, just because I'm curious now. But I promise not to look further ahead in the book until next week, when I think on Monday will be part 3 of this adventure, and we will be continuing our read through with a bunch of commentary as and when I choose, the Warlock of Firetop Mountain. Thank you everyone for joining me. This has been lovely. Maybe we will find a cheese connoisseur resident in the mountain. Could be. Maybe we will find someone who just really wants to look like Michael Jackson and really wants one glove. Maybe we will our shield ever become useful? Will we ever actually be hit and then successfully roll a 6? I don't know. Oh, and we can't forget Dimagio. Ikul Erif Ekam Erif Dimagio, which is apparently a fire casting spell. So apparently saying words backwards has special magical power. So there you go. Anyway, that is my recap. If you wish to check me out, stuffbybez.com, stuffbybez.bigcartel.com, twitter.com/stuffbybez, instagram.com/stuffbybez, twitch.tv/stuffbybez. I stream every day at 10 a.m. UK times, youtube.com/stuffbybez, stuffbybez.com/discord. Please join that. I'm having a special event on Saturday with Alan Paul, Eric Salson, Rory Muldoon, and Alex Cannon, and game is made by Alex and all those people, and also Xate. So I want to say thank you, everyone. Thank you to everyone who's still here. Thank you for all the comments. Exactly, cheese is what it's about. Cheeses that belong to me. And thank you. Oh no, it's like thank you. No, thank you. But anyway, seriously, thank you everyone who's in here. Thank you to my wonderful, amazing moderators. Thank you to everyone who's in the chat, kind of joining in, putting in comments. Thank you to people who are just watching along. If you're watching this after the fact, if you're on YouTube, then please leave a comment and just say, I don't know, what don't you think it's a bit weird, like right out of the gate, the Warlock was not doing anything wrong, just being who they were being, and just wanted to maybe be a bit alone, and then we're going in there, invading, and you just feel like, is that not a wee bit weird? Well, apparently there's a game book called Trees Dreams. Oh my gosh, I really want that. Okay, man. And thank you, everyone. And now I want to ask, over to you. What are you up to? You can share anything you want to. So, everybody who is here, what are you about to do? What are you excited to do? I am going to be chatting to Chris later, probably after I finish up here. I'm going to be chatting to Jason later today. I'm going to be setting up some stuff. I'm going to be, just trying to get on top of setting up the next couple of weeks of people on. And I managed to get my Gmail connected again this morning, so the Google Calendar is working again, although I need to add a few bits. So coming up tomorrow, we are going to be discussing collaboration in marketing with Dina. Friday is, of course, the Friendly Friday Forum. Saturday, the Bez and Friends Game Day runs from 10 a.m. until 6, 7, I don't know. Sunday, as always, I'm reviewing something. I'm probably just going to blether on about a couple of podcasts and then finish up early. Monday, I will be back here with part 3. When I say back here, I mean, you know what. Tuesday, chatting with Alan Paul about how to make a game, and then playing Nano Muckle in the evening, meeting Jessica Medringham in next Wednesday, and that is my stuff for the next week. And and meeting Benji and meeting Dutch. So yeah, those are a few things to look forward to. And so yeah, let me know what you are looking forward to. So Cheese Dreams is by Dane Barrett. I'm actually going to Dane Barrett Cheese Dreams. Okay, I'm going to investigate that one afterwards. That sounds amazing. I might genuinely have to buy that. Xate needs to defrost the freezer and go biking. Not sure I will do either. I think you can do it, Xate. You said you need to be in the house from 1 p.m. I would suggest go biking for a wee bit before it hits like 1 p.m. Do it. You can do it. I trust in you. And then defrosting the freezer you can, do in the evening if you have energy, or do tomorrow, like whatever. But while it's bright, go, do your thing. Lots of love, lots of energy. Boom, boom. Anyway, I am not excited by this. But I am currently proofreading an autopsy. Oof, it is far more grisly than Fighting Fantasy. Yeah, I can. Yeah, wow. You can absolutely share that. That I was unaware that is the kind of thing that you do, Scott. Wow. But yeah, I hope that it goes well and that you do a good job, I guess. I guess that's the thing to wish. Not sure what to do later, says Alex. Maybe try and organise a playtest of something. Yeah, absolutely. Or what night is it? Wednesday. Yeah, or if you want to have a chat about Saturday once Yeah. Anyway, that is what some people are up to. If you're watching this after the fact, of course, let me know what are you up to. Keep it PG rated. You don't need to tell me about. And hopefully you aren't up to murdering sentient beings. And I mean, okay, the ones who were torturing the dwarf, I can get behind that. But the ones who were just drunk and singing badly, seriously, we are the villains. We are horror. Anyway, look, my thing for that, share, spread the word. And if you are watching live, then this is a raid. And Stream Elements is being weird. That is the raid message if you wish to copy any parts of it. And for now, there is, of course, only one thing left to say. And that one thing, is to say bye, 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 bye. This is a goodbye song. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye, 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 bye. This is the end of the show. Bye, 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 bye. And now it's time to go. Bye, 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 bye. This is a goodbye song. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye, 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 bye. This is the end of the show. Bye, 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 bye. And now it's time to go. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.